Hello students, how are you? Today we are going to start with the short-run equilibrium chapter of macroeconomics. When we talk about short-run equilibrium, it is a theory according to Keynes. Keynes propounded the short-run equilibrium theory. If we have to talk, first let's talk about equilibrium. Equilibrium is a position where supplier, or we can say producer, want to exactly produce whatsoever is demanded. So it's all about the planned investment and planned consumption. When we say the planned demand, the consumer, what the consumer plans to consume, that's what the producer plans to produce. That is the situation of equilibrium. When we say short run, short run is a short period of time where technology cannot be changed. Technology cannot be changed. Only what we can change? We can change the level of employment. The level of employment can be increased to increase the equilibrium. So when technology does not change, all the role is played by the level of employment. Higher employment means higher level of equilibrium, and lower employment means lower level of equilibrium. Technology has no role to play. That is what the Keynes say is a short run period. How the employment is playing the role? Let's again come to the example of that machinery which is able to produce the 100 units. If we say a machinery is able to produce 100 units, and with the current in the current scenario, the demand is only for the 50 units. So we are producing 50 units. But when the demand increases, the consumer plans to produce more. Then what will happen? The producer will employ more people on that machinery. He will employ more raw material, and he will be producing more units, 60, 70, 80. That is what we call the short-run equilibrium. Technology do not change, fixed factors do not change, only the change in employment is there. Higher employment means higher level of equilibrium, and lower employment means lower level of equilibrium. Now, short-run clear, equilibrium clear. Equilibrium is that position where the producer is producing exactly the same amount which the consumer wants to buy. So if we have to say aggregate demand should be equal to aggregate supply, then only we would be saying that it is a equilibrium. If we have to define the aggregate demand is the planned expenditure that a consumer wish to do in the financial year given his income. And what is aggregate supply? It is the planned investment that the producer is going to do in the financial year. So when the aggregate demand is exactly equal to aggregate supply, it means that market clears itself. Whatsoever is produced in the market, everything is being sold. That is known as the equilibrium, where producer and consumer do not want to change their areas. They do not want to change the demand, they do not want to change the supply. That is termed as consumer equilibrium. Now, dear students, aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Let's start with the aggregate supply first. When we had started the topic of aggregate supply was equal to income. Aggregate supply was equal to income. Whatsoever being supplied by the producers, when they sell it, it becomes the income of the producers. So aggregate supply could be equal to the income. And the components of income are consumption and savings. What are the components of income? Income has two parts. Income is either consumed or saved. So income has two components, consumption and saving. What about aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is also having two components. If we talk about the components of aggregate demand, and we have to talk about two-sector economy where only households and producers are there, it means aggregate demand is either consumed or invested. Aggregate demand is either consumed by the household sector or invested by the producers. So these are the synonyms of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Aggregate supply is equal to Y. So dear students, let's put these synonyms right over here. If we say AS is equal to Y is equal to C plus S, let's put it C plus S. And aggregate demand is C plus I. So C and C cancel. We are having I equal to S. So first case of equilibrium is when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, then we say the economy is in equilibrium. That is a short run equilibrium where employment will determine the level of equilibrium, whether at the higher level or at the lower level. Now, one more criteria we are having to determine the equilibrium, that is investment and savings. When savings are exactly equal to investment, whatsoever being saved in the economy, the whole amount it invested in the economy, then also it is a situation of equilibrium. In this chapter, we would be going through both the concepts of equilibrium, AD equal to AS and I equal to S concepts. Both the concepts are dealt separately. The question may come, explain equilibrium with AD-AS approach, explain equilibrium with S and I approach. It would be clear cut given to you in the question at which approach you have. Now we will discuss AD equal to AS approach. AD equal to AS approach. When we say AD equal to AS approach, it means aggregate demand should be equal to aggregate supply. Students, here aggregate supply is the passive factor and aggregate demand is the active factor. Aggregate supply passive factor means in determination of equilibrium, aggregate supply has nothing to do, because we are talking about the underutilized economy. When the Keynes was there, when he propounded the theories, at that time in the world the Great Depression is going on. Therefore, every theory of Keynes assumes that the economies are underutilized. Underutilized, that economies do not have the situation of full employment. So, aggregate supply can be increased without putting any pressure on the prices. Likewise, the same example of 100 units of machine being producing, and it can produce more and more if there is a demand up to the 100. So, aggregate supply the producer can increase or decrease. Now, it is the aggregate demand that is the active factor that will determine whether the equilibrium will be set at the higher level or at the lower level. So, aggregate demand is the active factor and aggregate supply is the passive factor. There would be no effect on the price when we are operating in short run equilibrium. In short run equilibrium, the prices will not be changed. Now we have to clear this concept. We have to understand this concept with the help of schedule and diagram. Let's come to the schedule, where we are saying y equal to AS. I had already told you that y equal to AS is a 45-degree line of reference, because whatsoever supplier want to supply, that is becoming the income, and that is exactly equal to what is being sold in the economy. So when we are talking about the aggregate supply or income is increasing by the 20 units. That we know that consumption will not be increasing in the same proportion. Now we are having the consumption also. At zero level of income, the consumption is 20. What it is known as? It is known as autonomous consumption or C bar. C bar is 20 at the zero level of income. At the zero level, when the persons are not earning anything, at that level also, dear students, they are consuming something for their survival. So when the income increases to 20, the consumption also increases. That is termed as negative saving. Income increases, consumption is increasing by 10 units. So when we talk about the savings, when savings are Y minus C. When consumption is subtracted from income, then it is saving. At zero level it is minus 20, at 20 minus 10, 40, 0 and so on. That all things we have already done in the chapter of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Now change in consumption is 10 units and change in income is 20 units. Change in income 20 units and change in consumption 10 units. Therefore, we can find out marginal propensity to consume. Delta Y over delta C. That is 20 over, delta C over delta Y, that is 10 over 20, that is 0.5. So marginal propensity to consume is 0.5. Whatsoever is earned, half of it is consumed. So delta C and delta Y are required to find the marginal propensity to consume. Now we are having the component I. I component, it is a autonomous investment. We have already done I components in aggregate demand. Autonomous investment is that investment which do not have any link with the income. It is being done in the economy. Autonomous investment is done in the economy irrespective of the level of income. When the level of income is 0, then also 10 are invested. When the level is 20, then also 10 crores or whatsoever it is the figure, it is invested. So the autonomous investment is 10. Why autonomous investment do not have anything to take from income? Because whether we are not having any income, when you would be going to do the business, you would either be borrowing or you would either be using your own savings. Income has no role to play right over here. I autonomous investment. Along with the autonomous investment, we are having one more concept, induced investment. It is induced investment. When we talk about induced investment, it is an investment which have a direct relationship with the level of income. When the level of income increases, the level of investment will also increase. When the level of income is less, level of investment will be less. That is induced investment, which is directly related to the level of income, and autonomous investment has nothing to do with the level of income, that automatically something is invested in the economy either from the savings or from the borrowings. So aggregate demand, what we had done, aggregate demand is equal to C plus I. What is aggregate demand? It is consumption plus investment. So aggregate demand will be 20 is the consumption, 10 is investment, it is 30. Here 30 is the consumption, 10 is the investment, it becomes 40. Likewise 40, 20, 50, 40 and 10, 50. So when consumption is added to investment, then it becomes aggregate demand. So this is a schedule which we need to determine the equilibrium level by AD-AS approach. Now when the AD is equal to AS, at the level 60, AD is equal to AS. So 60 will be the equilibrium level where AD is equal to AS. It means that when the producers plan to produce 60 units, that would be exactly equal to what they demand. Like when we say that 100 units could be produced and consumers are planning to spend only 60, want to buy only 60 units, so the producers would only be producing the 60 units. Producers producing according to the wish of consumers, therefore aggregate supply will be the passive factor. Now when we have to show this in the form of diagram, so we would be making a diagram like this. Here we would be having 10, 20, 30, 40, that is the income, AS, and that is our aggregate demand. We should be making aggregate supply and aggregate demand equal. At this level we are having 45 degree of line of reference, AD Y equal to AS. Now what we need to do, here is our equilibrium level, so we need to match these points first match these points. After making the line of reference, match 60 points, because this is a level of equilibrium where we have to cut it through the AD line. Now consumption is starting from 20, that is the autonomous consumption. We will be starting from 20, that is consumption, autonomous consumption. Now AD is 30, AD we have to make equal to AS. Now it is 30, that would be going through here, AD equal equilibrium point where the AD and AS are equal, and it is termed as short run equilibrium. Okay students, in this way you have to draw AD and AS. One thing is left, that is the induced investment. This also line you have to draw I. That is the line of induced investment. So autonomous investment. So autonomous investment 10, 20. We are starting with the consumption, and consumption is every time increasing by 10 units. And when consumption we are adding investment, then it becomes 30, and AD line where it is equal to AS, there it would be the equilibrium level at 60 AS and AD. Now dear students, we also have to prove it algebraically. If we say algebraically, we have to produce, how we would be doing it algebraically? It is y is equal to AD. Let's start with y equal to AD. Okay, AD, we are having two components, C plus I. C plus I. Y is equal to AD. AD has two components, consumption plus investment. And C is equal to autonomous C plus MPC income. That is the algebraic expression of consumption function. When we had done the consumption function in the last chapter, it is the algebraic expression of consumption function where we say C is equal to del C bar, which is autonomous investment or autonomous consumption or consumption at zero level of income, MPC into Y. So we are going to put it here, C bar plus MPC income plus investment Y equal to this. Now, how to determine the equilibrium income? Y. So how to determine it? C bar is, here we are having C bar 20. Autonomous consumption we had already done 0.5, and Y we don't know. Investment is 10. So here also we are having a Y. This algebraic, we are having the numericals in this chapter, and everywhere this formula is used. Either we have to find the autonomous consumption, we have to find MPC, we have to find income, we can find investment, whatsoever we are not having. So Y means 1Y, nothing in front of it, 1Y. This will come as a negative figure right over here. Then it is 20 plus 10, 30. So 1y minus 0.5y is 0.5y is equal to 30. So 0.5y, let's cancel out the point, 10. Y is equal to 30 into 10 over 5. 10 over 5 means 2. 30 into 2, 60. So at level of 60, when the income is 60, then it would be the equilibrium. This is how we can find the equilibrium income in the economy. This is algebraically we are finding. This is the schedule and this is the graph. So dear student, hope that AD-AS approach is clear to you. Now we would be doing it by AS. In an economy, every time AD remains equal to AS, then only the equilibrium is there. And the economy works in such a way, if AS becomes more or AD becomes more, both the situations are again converted into the equilibrium situation. This is called the restoration of equilibrium. When we say AS is more than AD, it means that economy is not in equilibrium. Then the market forces itself start working in such a manner that AD again becomes equal to AS. How it happens? This is known as restoration of equilibrium. The question could come, what happens if AS is more than aggregate demand? If aggregate supply is more, it means that producers are having excess stock with them. The producers are having excess stock with them which they are not able to sell in the market. So what will happen? They will suffer loss. They will suffer loss due to excess stock. What happens when they are having excess stock? It means that working capital is blocked. When their working capital is blocked, it means that they are going to suffer the loss. Now, what they will do? Now the producers will decide. Producers will cut short their production. Cut short their production. Now they will decide that they will not be producing the same units next time, because this time they are already having the closing stock with them, so the production next year will be less. When they will cut short the production, what will happen? Aggregate supply next year will come down and become equal to aggregate demand. So this is how the chain in the economy works. When aggregate supply in the economy is more, it means that producers are left with the excess stock or unsold stock. It is also known as unsold stock. When they are having the unsold stock, it means they are going to suffer the loss due to unsold stock or working capital being blocked. Then the producers will decide that next year they will not produce the same quantity because they are having closing stock already with them. And if they will not produce the same quantity, what will happen? The aggregate supply will automatically come down next year and then become equal to aggregate demand, and the situation of equilibrium is restored. What happens if AS is less than aggregate demand? If supply is less and the demand is more, then it will be the situation when the producers are suffering loss due to unfulfilled demand. Unfulfilled demand. These two words you have to learn. One is unsold stock and another one is unfulfilled demand. When we say unfulfilled demand, it means that the consumers are coming to your shop to purchase something and you are not able to fulfill their demand, they will go somewhere else. It means that you are going to suffer the loss. Now what will happen? The producers will decide that next year they will be producing more. Next year they will be producing more. When they will be producing more, it means the aggregate supply will rise, which was less, and it will become equal to aggregate demand, and equilibrium is restored. So students, you have to remember two words. One is the unsold stock. When the supply is more and the demand is less, it means that the producers are having unsold stock with them, they are suffering loss. When they are having unsold stock, so next year they will be cutting down their production. But when the aggregate supply is less, it means that the producers are now suffering the loss due to the unfulfilled demand. Due to the unfulfilled demand, now next year what they will do? They will be producing more because they had assumed that more customers will come. Producing more means that aggregate supply will rise and it become equal to aggregate demand. Then again the situation of equilibrium is obtained, or we can say the economy works in such a way to restore the